In my last MCC Island video, I briefly talked about MCC Island and how it could surpass Hypixel due to a variety of factors. But that section of the video got me thinking. What are the actual logistics of MCC Island overtaking Hypixel? Is it likely? What factors would I have to consider? Why could Hypixel still be on top? Due to those questions, I decided to create this video, where I'll be judging MCC Island and Hypixel on 4 criteria: the state of their respective communities, their admin teams, the minigames in which already or will be on their servers, and the state of the Java Minecraft multiplayer scene as a whole. Will MCC Island be the winner of this race, or will Hypixel yet again reign supreme? Let's find out. To begin with Hypixel's side of the story, Hypixel's community is incredibly burnt out at the moment, and that burnout doesn't just pertain to one game mode. The most famous example of a game mode with lots of burnt out players is Skyblock, which has become so associated with burnout that it has become sort of a running joke in their community. This is due to the fact that Hypixel Skyblock requires you to do very similar tasks constantly to stay ahead. Examples of these including grinding dungeons again and again to get new items, doing mindless tasks to increase your skill average, killing thousands of mobs again and again for players, and more. And this requires the Skyblock players' full attention to stay on the top, or even competitive. This also extends to other game modes, such as their second most popular game mode, Bedwars, which I myself had struggled with from when I used to be a Bedwars YouTuber in 2019, as well as any other game mode on Hypixel. This can also be seen with the player counts of Hypixel, which at their peak were close to 200,000, but now are at 30 to 50,000 on average. Now MCC's community, on the other hand, is the exact opposite. Fans of MCC are going wild waiting for MCC Island, as it was over a year ago at this point that MCC Island was announced, so whenever MCC Island comes out, thousands of people will likely be clamoring to get into the server. I already have estimates of how many players could be on the MCC Island server at one point, in which the data was taken from viewer counts of the MCC events. Being realistic, we'll say that only 66% of people watching MCC each month would have Minecraft Java Edition, and that only half of those people would actually play on the MCC Island server at any given point. And if we say all that, MCC Island ends up with a low end of 100,000 concurrent players and a high end of 270,000 concurrent players, which is absolutely insane. For reference, Hypixel's highest player count ever was 200,000. And for an estimate of peak time MCC's player base being higher than that is nuts. I'd say that the low end is the most realistic amount of players, however, though either way, due to the variety of negatives for Hypixel and the positives for MCC Island gets the point for this round, as we begin with a score of 1-0. This is one of the most opinionated subjects on the criteria, because I don't know how to rank people. Yet. I personally believe that both Noxcrew and Hypixel are filled with a bunch of amazing people who will or are already engaging with their community, and I'd hate to rank them, so I'm going to put this round as a tie, with the ratio still being 1-0 in the favor of MCC Island. Hypixel has 2 main game modes which, as of recent, have been carrying most of its weight: Skyblock and Bedwars. Skyblock is the more dominant of the two, however, getting player counts 3 times higher than Bedwars on average. However, it's not very beginner friendly, so people can't really jump straight into it due to a lot of factors, such as inflation, damn that's realistic, and the time required to get items steadily increasing. Bedwars is also a very popular game mode, even though it gets less players than Skyblock. One of the reasons for this is the fact that it's still the most popular game mode for YouTubers, which obviously is a big factor to Hypixel's success. But if you thought that's all Hypixel had to offer, you'd be mistaken. Hypixel also has tons of other game modes that have a lot of the player base on it as well, such as Skywars, Wool Wars, Murder Mystery, Housing, Build Battle, the SMP game mode, and lots of others. On the other hand, while we can't necessarily rate the MCC Island game modes yet, we can guess. Currently, MCC Island is promising Ace Race as a launch game, which in MCC Rising, an event where anyone could participate if they had a good enough application, was one of the most popular game modes, so it's sure to be a crowd pleaser. While there are no other confirmed launch games, Hole in the Wall was the first games developed for MCC Island, so it's likely that it will also be a launch game mode. Though, like, it's Hole in the Wall, so yeah. Sands of Time, a very complex and intricate game mode, is also stated to be coming to MCC Island after the launch, as well as the game mode Meltdown, a brand new game mode for MCC 22. It's very likely that there will also be several other popular game modes at launch, such as Sky Battle, Battle Box, and To Get to the Other Side and Whack a Fan. These game modes are all incredibly unique and are seeming to be future successes for the MCC Island server. Though it's much too early to tell, I'm going to give the edge to Hypixel just due to the large amount of pre-existing game modes it already has, making the score return to a balanced amount, 1-1, as we move on to the final round. This one might seem a bit obvious. Over the 12 or 13 years that Minecraft has been around, for half of that time, or about 6 to 7 years, Hypixel has dominated the Minecraft multiplayer Java scene, beginning when they first surpassed Mineplex in 2015 and 2016. This means that anyone who hasn't been a fan of Hypixel in general has had no other options for big servers over the past 5 years. And with MCC Island coming out, it's likely that they'll be able to snag those eyeballs right out of the hands of Hypixel. As obvious, any players who have quit Hypixel due to fatigue as well will also now play on MCC Island instead of Hypixel, so if it wasn't already blatantly obvious in the beginning, this round is in favor of MCC Island, as we finish this with a 2-1 score. In conclusion, MCC Island is a very promising server. Hypixel has had little to no competition over an almost decade-long time span, and that's made them a bit soft, giving MCC Island the perfect opportunity to surpass Hypixel once and for all. However, with the minigame section, it can be seen that if there's a lack of proper execution, Hypixel could still remain on top, as MCC Island doesn't have as rich of a server history, which doesn't promise longevity for the server. While I believe that MCC Island will surpass Hypixel, after looking at the facts, Hypixel seems to have a really good chance at staying ahead. But what are your thoughts on this battle? Leave them in the comments below and I'll be sure to reply. But anyhow, thanks for watching the video. And if you'd like to see more content like this, you can check out my MCC Island video that I made where I wrongly predicted the MCC Island release date, discuss everything we know about MCC Island, and briefly touch on the reasons that Hypixel may be surpassed by MCC Island, which is what this video is, except slightly shorter. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.